Hi everybody, this will be part 31 in the Character Rigging tutorial series. In this video we're going to talk about how to add extra foot controls to allow the foot to be able to animate in more specific ways. So right now we have the foot control to where we can pick it up and move it around as well as rotate it based off of the heel. But there are actually extra foot movements that we need to add, such as like the toe movement, which I have IK is currently set up on. So if I select like the toe IK, I need some toe tapping as well, and then also to be able to do heel to toe kind of actions. So I need to be able to pick that heel up while leave the toe down on the ground. So we're going to need a couple other curve controls to do this, and then we'll set up the controls with those curves. So I'm going to build a couple extra circles. These are circle curves. I'm going to kind of taper them in. All right, and I'm going to move this up and try to angle this so that it follows. Let's look at it from a side view. This follows the same angle as the ankle to the ball of the foot, something like that. I'll make sure it's a little larger here. Something like that. There we go. I'm going to try to place this so it is in line as much as it can be. Yeah, it looks pretty good. With that heel to ankle joint. There we go. All right. So really just need this to be, I'll turn off my joints for a second, visible on the outside, even if it overlaps some parts of the body. Let's see, like we can scale this out some. Maybe those two could be scaled in, but these two vertices are scaled out some. We just want to be able to select it from the side of the character, so something like that should work. Okay, that'll work there. Let's duplicate this curve, and we're also going to need one for, turn our joints back on, for the toe. So we're going to kind of scale this down some. Let me turn our geometry off for a second and angle this a little more. So this follows from the toe to the toe end. Same idea, we're just going to really be able to select this, or need to select this from the side. So something like that. I'm turn our geometry back on so we can see it. Let's scale this out a lot more. Turn our joints off, and we're going to go in and make adjustments to, to the vertices again. And we'll take these two and scale them out. We need this side to be that large. So this part is just kind of manipulating the form. So we want this to expand across the end of the toe. Maybe show some toe direction or angle. Maybe we'll scale back out just a little bit. All right, let's try that. All right, everything back on. That should work for the toe. The last one, I'm going to duplicate this again a third time, and I'll rotate this so it's 90 degrees. Negative 90, that'll be fine. And this one's going to be at the end of the foot, where the tippy toe is. So that's what we're going to call this control, is a tippy toe control. All right, so we'll have to change some of the hierarchy of the foot here. But let's turn off our joints for a second, and let's flatten this some. Looks pretty good there. These don't need to be as wide. Start to scale in some things a little more. So this is just kind of preference to change the look of it. All right, so we have three controls. Let me turn off my geometry so you can see them. My IKs are still visible. So I have, go ahead and name these. This would be control left, peel heel. This is the kind of motion we're going to peel the heel off the ground, lean it towards the ball of the foot. Control left, toe tap. And then control left, tippy toe. There we go, tippy toe. All right. So three more controls here: peel heel, toe tap, tippy toe. And this should give us most of the motion that we need for our foot. All right, I'm gonna select those three and duplicate those. Move it over to the other side. And each one of these, scale X, I'm gonna put in a negative value. So it mirrors it across. Scale X, negative value. Scale X again. Negative value. There you go. Alright, so now we can kind of position this back around to where the character's foot is. Try to match our position. That looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to select those 6 controls now. Edit, delete by type history. And modify freeze transformations. Okay, that should be okay. Well, actually, we're probably going to do the, we'll leave the freeze transformations till in a minute. We're going to do the offset controller script again so we can keep the angles how we want to. These two on the end, we can leave those and do modify freeze transformation, so the 2 tippy toes. But these 2 other ones that are at an angle, we're going to keep those rotate, so we'll do the offset controller for those. Let's go rename the right side with capital R right with each one of these, so we know what's what here. There you go. All right. So one final thing we need to do is move the pivot points. So the peel heel controls pivot point needs to be at the base of the toe. So I'm at the D key with the control left peel heel, hold down the V key to snap to point, and we will snap that to the center of the base toe joint. All right, let's go ahead and do the same thing for the other side as well. Peel heels controls pivot point and snap to the base of the toe. All right, this is now the control toe tap. That pivot point is also going to get snapped to the base of the toe. And moving to the other side of the foot, the right toe tap control is going to snap to the base of the toe. All right, this last one is the tippy toe, and that pivot point needs to get snapped to the end of the toe. So at the end there. Same thing, take this, snap that to the end of the toe. All right. So peel heel's pivot is at the base of the toe, toe tap's pivot's at the base of the toe, and tippy toe's pivot is at the end of the toe. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to rotate this control up, and the heel will rotate up with it. With this control, we're going to be able to rotate this control back, and the toe is going to rotate with it. And then with this last control, when I rotate this last one up or left or right, the entire foot and the ankle is going to lift up as if the character's standing on the tippy toes. All right. So peel heel and tippy toe, well no, tippy toes, they're going to stay at their bases for it. Peel heel, it should work. Let's see, let's keep it like this. Peel heel, let's try it with the offset controller script. So in previous videos I talked about using the offset controller script here. So it's gonna let me use this. Nope. Okay, so we will delete tab and go to file, open script. I think I put this to my desktop. Offset controller. Okay, there we go. We can hit Control A. All right, so I'm going to select peel heel control, shift select the joint, and we're going to hit the execute button. There we go. So let's look at the rotate. Yeah, the rotate's still there. We're good to go. But my translates are 0. That should be good. All right, this is the toe tap, and I'm going to shift select the toe joint, and we'll run our script again. Check out our rotate. Rotate's still there. We're good. And let's do the same thing for the other foot here. So peel heel to the ankle joint, execute our offset controller script, and then we'll select the toe tap control, and then we'll shift select the toe joint, execute our script here. There we go. Should be it. All right, so now we have our subgroups. The rotate should still be on our controls there. All right. So next thing we need to do is actually set up the controls. All right, so the next thing we need to do is actually remove out the parent constraints that we had previously done for the leg IKs, because it's going to cause some issues for us when we try to set up the orientation constraints of our new foot controls, and then we'll sync everything back up. So this is my left leg, left ball, and left toe IKs. I need to remove these parent constraints out because right now they are moving when I move the main foot control, but I need to remove the parents, and I'm going to readjust the hierarchy here. I'm going to leave the pull vector to the knee control, but the parent constraint for the left leg IK, the parent constraint for the left ball IK, and the parent constraint for the left toe IK, I need to delete those out. All right, so what I want to happen is when this peel heel control rotates up, I want the IK for the leg and the ankle to move up with it. So with the left leg IK selected, I'm going to hit Control G to group. Okay. So if it's a new group down here, I need to move the pivot for this to the ball or base of the toe. Okay, and we'll say group left leg IK peel heel, so we can know what this is. Group left leg IK peel heel. Okay. Right. So basically, what that'll do is the leg will still move properly, but we want the IK to start bending from the base of the toe, or the peel heel. Basically, the heel gets peeled up. All right. So with that group, it says the IK and the pull vector underneath it. I'm going to take my peel heel control, not the group, but the peel heel control, and then I'm going to hold down the control key on the keyboard and click on my group, and we're going to do an orientation constraint. So we'll do orient. We're going to make sure the maintain offset's turned on and choose add. So with that peel heel control selected, if I rotate that, that should rotate the foot up while keeping the base of the toe down. So that's called peel heel action. All right, so the next one we want is when I rotate my toe tap control, I want to tap the toe. So when I go back up to my IKs, I cannot have those parent constraints on the IKs at this point, but I'm going to select both the ball IK and the toe IK and hit Control G to group those together. So we got a new group, so we'll say group left ball and toe IK, and we'll call this one toe tap. We're getting long names, but that's all right. I need to move the pivot point for this group to the base of the toe again, but the second group will now give me the access to rotate the toe while keeping the heel stationary. All right, so with those two groups selected, with that group selected, those two IKs underneath that group, I'm gonna go back and select that toe tap control, hold down the control key on the keyboard and click on that group, and we'll go to constrain orient. Okay. So if I take my toe tap control, rotate that, that should rotate the toe. If I go back to my peel heel control and rotate that, that will still rotate the peel heel properly. The last one is to set up so when I have my tippy toe control rotate, the whole foot rotates based off of that end point for the toe. So to do this, I'm going to take those two previous groups that I just created, the peel heel group and the toe tap group, and group them together one more time. So let's say Control G. We'll say group left leg peel heel and toe tap. Okay, you can call this whatever you want, but that's typically what I'll call it. We're going to take the pivot point, move the pivot point for this third group to the end of the toe. Okay, so basically when this moves, it'll rotate the toe up. We have a little bit of an issue, which we'll come back to in a second. Let's go ahead and set up the constraint. So I'm going to select the tippy toe control, hold on the control key on the keyboard, and click on that third group that we just created. Let's do constrain orient. Okay. So that's going to start rotating, but it's not going to work exactly how we want it to. what we want this to do is to rotate the whole foot based off of the tip of the toe. We just have to set up the hierarchy of our controls. So what we want is the peel heel group and the toe tap group to be parented underneath the tippy toe control. So peel heel group and toe tap group to be parented underneath the tippy toe group, tippy toe control. So P for parent. There you go. So now if I select that tippy toe control and rotate that, the foot will rotate based off of the end of the toe. All right, let's go back and test all three. So that one works. This one works, toe tap. The first one's a peel heel, toe tap, and then this is the tippy toe. All three of those work. All right, so now we need to sync this back up so then when the main control foot for this leg moves and rotates, it rotates the whole leg based off of the heel. So to do this, we're going to take that combined group, peel heel and toe tap group. We're going to group that one more time. So Control G to group. And we'll call this one group left leg IKs. Okay. Because this, if I open up this group, has all of my IKs for the group. Okay. So with this group, I'm going to take that pivot point and move that pivot point back to the center of the heel. There you go. To get out of pivot mode. All right, so the last one is I'm going to take my left foot control, hold down the control key, click on that group left leg IKs, and we're going to do constrain parent this time. Make sure maintain offsets turned on. There you go. All right, so now I'm going to move out a little bit. This control left foot should move all of these controls. If I go back, the peel heel should rotate the leg up from the ankle point of view. The toe tap should rotate it from the toe point of view, and the tippy toe should rotate it from the tippy toe point of view. Last thing to do is take my tippy toe control and parent that underneath my control left foot. So that way when I move my control left foot, the subset foot controls that is created will rotate and move with it. There you go. All right, so the pole vector should still work. We didn't mess with any of that, but that reset and corrected the foot and gave me a lot more variety in what my foot can do. I'm gonna pause the video here and set up the other leg the same way, and we'll come back and finalize the foot controls in a minute. All right, to wrap up this video, I went ahead and did the right foot the same way. So I'm gonna move the right foot control that moves the entire leg. Okay, also I can go through and select the right peel heel to rotate the ankle up from the peel's point of view. I can take the right toe tap control, tap the toe, and then I can rotate the peel or the tippy toe to rotate the foot up on the toe. So I duplicated my hierarchy for my two leg groups here. So there's my left leg IK group hierarchy, my right leg IK group hierarchy. And then if I roll up here to my left foot and right foot control, there are my two foot control hierarchy. So it's just a more complex hierarchy setup that gives me more control over what my foot does, and this gives me freedom of range so I can do things like walking and stepping and planting the foot, the major actions of what the foot does during those major motions. All right, that'll wrap up this video of how to set up more refined foot controls.